Alright guys, so we still have our laminated frame mold set up. This frame mold and template are set up for obviously that frame that we just did. I checked the contour of the port aft one frame exactly opposite on the port side, and it appears that this will work well enough to just make a duplicate of this frame for the other side. So we can pre-make the frame, so that's already prefabricated, but what we need to do before we can install that frame is, well, you guys have seen it all before. Prepare the hull to accept a new frame. So here's frame starboard aft one, replaced, riveted. Very nice. I love the look of a riveted frame. That's all set for now. We're gonna have to do fastening up top here, and I do have to finish the stanchion up. So the next order of business to tackle is the opposing frame here. You can see it also is very rotted and iron sick. You can see where the wasted iron fasteners expanded and blew out the grain all the way down the frame. So that's going to be replaced. You can see we have the port side stringer scarf joint, which is pretty sad. Probably end up doing those scarf pieces as I did over here, but we're not going to do it like that again. I'm going to make up a scarfing jig because I'm going to need that for scarfing in replacement wood over where the butt blocks were in the planks anyway, and for scarfing in new sections of plank where I cut out wasted rotted stuff before. Yeah, so we'll epoxy that together, put scarves in, clean everything up. So you can see down the length of this we have checking, but it's still very solid. We can just fill these checks with epoxy and we'll probably be golden. That stringer will have to be repaired before I do any of the frames in this area. What I'm gonna do going forward, we're gonna do the opposing frame here. We'll get this one done, and then we'll move forward or aft. I don't know which way we're gonna go, but we're gonna do them as a set. So I'll take one template from one side, cross-check it on the other, and we'll remove the floor, we'll remove both frames, then we'll set about removing all the fasteners from the hull, which we're gonna do differently too. We're gonna remove the bungs and the outsides, and I'll show you that with this frame here once we get to the point where we're gonna remove it. And we're gonna pull those stainless screws and get those out of the boat so that they're not, because they actually still have some biting spots, and I had a hell of a time getting this one out with a lot of those stainless screws still in there. The old wasted iron ones should just fall right apart when we pull the frame out. Then we'll route all the pockets for our lozenges. But anyway, all right, so first order of business, we're gonna get our chain plates off of the side of the hull. We're gonna pull our cap rails. We're gonna get the covering board off the inside. We're gonna get the bulwark plank off the outside, and we're gonna gain access to all of these rotted frame and stanchion tops along here. Got a popped plank down there. That's one of the replacement mahogany planks. I don't know if I like mahogany as a planking wood, and I don't know why they would have chosen that to have the port forward quarter of the boat replanked with. All right, this is the port mizzen 4 chain plate. Let's see what we're dealing with here. All right, this thing has a through bolt, so I'm gonna lock a vice grip on the other side, and I have a wide blade flathead. All right, port mizzen aft chain plate. There it is. Port side mainmast chain plates. Oops. Seems like in the 1980s refit, they just, if you can make it look pretty, just slap a bunch of fairing compound on it. That's what we do. That was all fairing compound with screws through. Wonderful workmanship. Nothing holding that one on. All right, so at this point, pretty much just gonna do the same thing I did in the other chain plate. All right, all 4 port chain plates are off. There's the 2 mainmast ones. So we've cleared the way to remove the port cap rails. Nice. All right, let's give this a good sand so we can figure out where all the bungs are. I don't think this is mahogany. I think this is, might be teak, might be like Iroko or something. But that don't look like mahogany to me. It's yellow. So, the cap rails on this side appear to have only been held in by stainless screws. So I think the port side cap rails were replaced at some point. Perhaps at the same time that the port forward quarter planking was replaced with mahogany. Try to separate the seam, because there's scarf joints all along here. So this is definitely a later replacement because there's no rotted iron screws and it appears to be epoxied down, which is unfortunate because they epoxied this new cap rail down and then sealed all the rot in. I can get a pain for anyone to get the cap rail off in the future. So I'm trying to get this middle section out. It's about, I don't know, 5 foot long, because then that'll free up the ends of the fore and aft pieces, so I can get those up. I'm gonna have to get at least that next piece forward up in order to get at the area I'm working frames and stanchions. I believe that I have all of the screws out, so it's just being held on with epoxy. Oh, there we go. This seam's giving away, but we got ants coming out. Oh, look at this. These stanchions are shot. That one's not over. Alright, let's try to get this one off. Alright, there's the aft section. That looks pretty good. What, Pepper? You can see they just gobbed a bunch of thickened epoxy in here and just really haphazardly. Look at all this. Alright, so I'm going to go down below, reposition the ladder back over here, and then we'll get that next piece off. Alright, so we got the cap rails off, got a little bit of ant action going on, got a mahogany or some of the tropical covering board here, so we'll take that out and keep it. We'll rip out all the other wood on the inside here. We'll start by ripping off the fiberglass deck. All right, You guys want to see iron sickness? This is exactly. That is totally iron sick wood. Stanchion there. We do got to keep that so we can use it as a template. Yeah, don't use steel fasteners in your wooden boat, or your wooden boat does this. Alright, so we have this port midships bulwark disassembled. As far as I'm going to go, like on the other side, the stanchions start looking fairly decent from here back. So for now, we'll leave both of these aft quarters intact. We'll deal with those later. As with the starboard side, the midships area is by far the worst for wear. I think this side might actually be a little bit worse than the other one. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to lower the ladder and I'm going to pop this plank. It's got a butt joint there and it's already popped out down there. This whole thing is shot. That might be one of the mahogany ones too. I don't know, that one's probably sealed. Butt it up against a mahogany one down there. Lower this a little bit and we'll pop this rotted plank out. And then we'll probably just cut out some more of this. This popped one is mahogany and I think that's probably still good to go back in. But that shear strake all the way along midship area is shot. Yeah, it's definitely worse over on this side. That's the head of an old steel shoulder bolt. And there's a stainless screw going in the next to an iron one. Here's a rodent nest. Goodbye. God, this side is torched. Got like big galvy bolts hanging over here. This plank seems, you know, it's got some rot on there. This looks pretty good up till about. And then there's just a butt block with a bunch of crap behind here. Got one real bad one, but that's probably a butt block, so that'll be scarfed. Yeah, maybe I'll cut this here. A lot of good usable mahogany in that piece, but not good as a plank anymore. And this side of the boat's in a bad way. Cut this guy off just right here. They were just screwing these new mahogany planks into old rotten iron sick butt blocks. What a friggin' mess. So this is the frame in question that we're going to be duplicating from the other side. A lot of areas of these two planks here look a little bit not great. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We have enough opened up here that we can address this stringer scarf here. Yeah, so a bunch more of this plank material is going to be removed, but for right now we're gonna call it on demo for this side. These frames are, look at that. Those are friggin' roached. I mean, it still seems solid over here. Made the stringers out of some good quality oak, because with how poorly the adjacent oak frames fared, it is very surprising that this stringer is as solid as it is. I think it's reusable. It's worse than the one on the other side, but you know, I think with enough epoxy and ye old boat primer, I think we'll be good. So I'll reset the ladder and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so with the majority of the demo of the real bad stuff having been completed, it's time to assess and begin repairs on this stringer. So, same basic protocols that we did over here before we put a frame in. We're gonna fix the stringer. What I'm looking at is we have a spacer thing in here. We're gonna get rid of that. We have through bolts going through here, and then we have bolts tying it to the frames there. What I'm going to start with is I got a metal cutting blade for the Sawzall, and I'm going to cut the bolts midway through here. All right, let's get to it. All right, it's like 5:45. I'm getting kind of tired. Gotten a good amount of work done. To be perfectly frank with you guys, I'm getting sick and tired of demolition. However, it's necessary. We gotta take all the rotted crap out. We gotta fix the broken stuff. We gotta do all this work so we can prepare for rebuilding. Once this is all done, or, you know, once this is laid up and epoxied, then I'll go on the outside and I'll dig all the bungs out of the holes for the stainless screws and take those out, so that I'm not going to be punching them through from the inside. There's not much I can do about the wasted iron fasteners, but it is what it is. All right, anyway, I'll be up bright and early tomorrow to do some more boat work, so I will see you then. Oh, well, hello there. Before I do more on that port stringer in there, which I've cut a filler block to go in the scarf, I gotta go in. I found an old hole saw bit. I'm gonna drill around the old steel screws that are through that, get the plugs out, get the iron rod out, and then I will cut into the parts I wasn't able to drive the bolts out of, and then we'll get that joint epoxied back together solid in one piece after this. So what I'm gonna do, got a reclaimed flathead 5/16 18 bolt with a new flat washer and a new lock washer, an old nut. This is going to be what will anchor the frame to the beam shelf right here, which you need to do so that we can make that frame into something that's actually structural. So we're gonna get that bolted. This is a conical bottom flathead. So I've got the long 5/16 drill bit, got a countersink, which will create that conical hole. Got the caulking gun, the Sikaflex is in the freezer. All right, Sika time. So, pro tip, especially in hot weather, always put this stuff in a bag in the freezer. Hey, Sharina, I need you to hold the screwdriver. Oh, you got that screwdriver? I think that's probably good. All right, and that's that. All right, my dumbass forgot to turn the camera on, so I just used this core drill to drill out all of these steel screws that were attaching the stringer to the frames. Now that our frames are detached completely from the stringer. I think I will cut these frames because these are so rotted on the outside, they're not doing anything anymore. Alright, so we got the bolts out of these holes here. We have bolts stuck in the wood here, so we're gonna have to get the coarse wood wrapped out. Just rough up the surface in preparation. Alright, we got 19 inches of scrap stuff from making up the laminations for the frame. Some epoxy made up. I'm gonna do unthickened to pre-treat this rotten old wood, and then we'll mix some silica into it. All right, I've got some straight up epoxy mixed up. All right, let's thicken this up. All right, I've got the filler primed and epoxied on the top. And ask any boat builder, you always wear 2 pairs of gloves when doing epoxy work. Gonna have to do some repairs in here. I hear that cracking a little bit, but that's all right. And the filler's a little bit proud. It's fine. All right, port stringer scarf, epoxy. So now what I want to do is go on the outside of the boat with my drill with a 1/2-inch Forstner bit on it, and I want to chase the line of the frame we're going to be replacing down, drill out any bungs that I see, and yeah, pull the stainless screws out. So we'll get to that. God, this 1980s for fastening it up was such shoddy work. All right, I think you guys get the idea. My theory that the people who did the work on this boat in the 1980s didn't know what they were doing. Let me prove it to you. See that? That is a stainless screw that they drove right through the caulking seam right there. What shipwright does that? Oh, somebody who's not a shipwright, some fiberglass manufacturer idiot. If you're gonna pay other people to work on your boat, make sure they know what they're doing, because Yeah. All right. All set. All the old fasteners I can get out are out. Even got a few along the garboard and the keel there. So let's go get port aft 1 out of there. Nice. Alright. Actually got it out whole. Cool. So here is why we are replacing frames. Alright, and then we'll drive out all the rest of these screws. All the stainless ones we're just spinning. There's no bite on them, so they should drive out. I got all the bungs out, so all these crapped out fasteners should just drive right through. Or I'll just take the there goes that butt block. I think this one should come out easily too. Alright, let me get this frame out of here. Alright, so I'm gonna go get my drill. And I'll do the cordial thing around these dead fasteners to see if I can just pull them out. Because I want to minimize blowout on the other side, and if I just hammer these out this way, they're going to blow out the other side, and I'm going to be in the same boat as the other side. So I want to leave as much material on the outside as possible because I'm going to be doing the lozenges. Choose the right tool for the job. Oop. I'm going to try to get this butt block off of here because I removed all the stainless screws I could find on it. We had one stainless left down there. You know, I'm cutting rusty metal, and these things just burn out. What the hell use are these? All right, that is all set, ready for routing. I don't know if I'm going to do that today, but next time, I guess. I don't think I'm going to do that today. I'm tired. All right, guys. Well, that was a jam-packed episode. I enjoyed editing it, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it. So as it stands at the end of this, we are completely ready to break out the router and start routing out the pockets in the planks for the lozenges. We're also going to be putting in lozenges where the screw holes behind the frame on the stringer were. Next week, we'll be taking a little bit of a break from that stuff and starting out with actually milling a log into lumber utilizing a chainsaw mill. So if you're interested in that, go ahead, click subscribe, click the bell icon next to it to get notified every time I post something new. The subscriptions really help with the algorithm. So anyway, if you want to help fund this project, go ahead and follow the Patreon link down below. Any support is greatly appreciated. Anyway, you see me use a lot of Total Boat products, and I'm an affiliate of theirs. So if you would like to get a 5% discount off your next order at TotalBoat.com, go ahead and follow that affiliate link down below. You get 5% off. The channel gets a little bit of a kickback. Just a great win-win all around. Anyway, guys, as I said, I hope you enjoyed the episode. episode. Stay tuned for more. Feel free to drop a comment down below. And with that, I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and I hope you have a good one. All right, bye.